in my classes and whenever I do presentations, people have come with football helmets and bags over their head. Just so I did a program one time at the Murray County school system, all the teachers and everybody, and there were like 17 people lined up in the first row in Central's auditorium. It was absolutely packed. And there's 7 people lined up, and I got up and started talking, and the next thing you know, they went like this. They had 17 umbrellas. And they looked on and they all said, "We love you, Aubrey." It was fun. As far as Jamie is concerned and my relationship to him, I like to do that when I come to Murray Hills. I don't care who you are. I'm going to stop and ask you. I may ask you 4 times in a row because I can't remember meeting you the first time. But I have absolutely loved this church. I grew up in a church that was, I grew up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is way off the beaten path from down here, and never did really get involved in church. And I came, I don't know, 12 years ago now? 12 years. And it's just flown by. And I've loved every minute of it. The one thing that I love most about this church, it's a church where judgment ends. Got it? And restoration begins, or what we call healing. Healing. There's a lot of people that go to this church that have had bad experiences in other churches. So this thing about friendliness, and people being kind and stuff like that is a characteristic of this church that, everybody in this community knows about. The first thing they say, and I'm an advocate. I don't care where you are. It could be in a bar room. It doesn't matter where I am. I'm going to say, "Where do you go to church?" And I talked to somebody the other night at Pockets. There's a couple sitting next to us, and they just moved here from Colorado. And I said to them, "Are you looking for a church?" And they said, "Yes, matter of fact, we are." So I talked to them about 20 minutes about Murray Hills. The thing about Murray Hills, other than that friendly, non-judgmental, part of us, I believe in service. Okay? Because Jesus Christ made it very clear to us, that's where we're here. That's where we're here. And I have spent my entire life, in service. Even when I was young like y'all, I was always looking to do something, for somebody else. Carry the groceries, go get the groceries for them, help them in their yards or whatever. That's just my nature. That's just my nature. Service. So I grew up in Cambridge. I had 6 brothers and sisters and grew up 3 rooms and an attic. We had no air conditioning, no heat. It was in an attic. My father was an alcoholic, and my mother was an angel. My mother was an angel. My mother, raised these kids in the most abusive situation you can imagine. And I went off to school, and I had a lot of chances to go play football at different schools and baseball, but I didn't have the grades. So I ended up going to Austin Peay. Some of y'all probably haven't heard of Austin Peay. It's up near Clarksville. And I ended up going there, and I really had a great experience. And you're not old enough to take the ACT test, but I think y'all know what it is, and use it to get in college. Well, 35 is the most you can make. I made a 12, so don't feel real bad. And I took it in the coach's office, and he said, "You're not doing very well." I thought I was doing good. So I couldn't go to a lot of schools, but Austin Peay somehow or other wiggled me in the door. In the first semester I was there, I made 5 F's and a D. 5 F's and a D. We're going to be talking about determination. That's my word for today, determination. 5 F's and a D. The second semester I did better. I had 4 F's and 2 D's. So I was on a roll, on a roll. Then my roommate, who was a very successful football coach in Franklin at Brentwood Academy, his name was Aubrey Flagg. And Carlton set me down one day and he said, "Aubrey, you're pretty good, but you're not that good. And before you know it, you're going to be back on the bus." I went there on a Greyhound bus with all the clothes I owned in a paper bag and $32. I went 1,200 miles to that school. I got off and walked up to the school. And I said, "Here I am." And I remember one of the coaches saying, "Hey, Aubrey, Where's your luggage? I said, here it is. And a paper bag and some underwear and a couple of shirts. And that was it. That's all I had. That's all I could afford. You know? But my roommate was a very Christian person. His name was Aubrey Flagg. He was a very Christian person. And he said something to me that day that I'll never forget until I die. And he said, Aubrey, you're good, but you're not that good. You're going to be gone. And he looked at me and said, you know, hey, I didn't want to tell you, Mom. I've told this story a million times, and it almost brings tears to my eyes every time I think about it. I was going to do this for my mother. I was determined to do it for her. She used to clean houses and do whatever she could to get a little extra money, put food on the table. You telling me I'm going to go home and tell her, I flunked out of school, I don't have anywhere else to go? No. So from that semester on, I made straight A's. All the way through school, college, and then through graduate school. Because I was determined to make her happy. Now my mom ever went to church. The lady next door was a Baptist lady, and she took all the flags to church. So I grew up in the Baptist church, and my mother had to work. She had to work. But I think about it all the time. I think about people talking about heaven and all the things they've done, and all the kindness they've showed and everything. If my mother is not there, it's empty because she was a Christian person. You didn't have to go to church to be a Christian person. You don't have to. I'm serious. It's a heart attack. It's what's in your what? In your what? Not in your brain, but in your what? Your heart. You see, it all starts with the heart. Have a good heart. And so when I decided after leaving graduate school where I wanted to teach, I had this idea that I want to go somewhere where there's a lot of Aubreys. A lot of Aubreys. Kids with issues. All kinds of issues. So I chose Columbia State. Columbia State was just getting started back in the day. And I thought, that's where I want to be. I could have taught at universities, but I taught 1 year at UT Knoxville, but I had 400 students in the class. I didn't know any of them. Now at Columbia State, I had 40 in every class. For 42 years, I taught 16,700 students in my career. But I got to know each one of those kids personally. Personally. I loved them, and they knew that I loved to teach. They knew it. Because every single day I walked in that classroom, I was prepared. I always started it off with a joke. And throughout the course of my class, like being next door to me, someone was talking about Jamie, being next door to me, they had to put double walls up. Because when I get excited about something, I'm screaming. In our class, we'd be rolling all over the floor laughing, but there was always a point, to what I was talking about. What did you teach? I taught geography and I taught history. These are two subjects that are not getting enough attention. That along with civics. You talk about political issues, you talk about civics. But history and geography. We're not looking back at our history. We need to learn from our what? Our mistakes. We need to learn from our mistakes and try to do better. We're not going to do perfect, but we always try to do what? Better. One of the things that's so special about teaching at Columbia State, I taught education majors, and they had to have 2 classes with me. And so I got to see a lot of women, adult women, going back to school because of the circumstances that they were living in. See? And that used to break my heart because I knew some of them were being abused and they were in bad situations. And I thought, I've got to make a difference in this person's life. So them people were my special people. Then we had a lot of people in nursing that took my classes because they needed some electives. And I wanted to give them the best possible experience. I love my job. I mean, when I retired, I was not ready to retire. But I have a little health issue, which is no big deal. But I started missing a little. In the 42 years I was there, I only missed 11 days. 11 days in 42 years. You know, that's how committed I was. That's how determined I was to do my job for those students who drove here from Clifton, or drove here from Lawrenceburg, or drove here from, wherever. What am I going to do? Just hang out and not go to class? And one of the things, and every one of y'all have heard Russ, haven't you? Yeah. Well, Russ, my friends, and I have a lot in common in terms of our teaching techniques. One thing is, Russ is not afraid to get personal. You see, what I'm doing with y'all today, I'm getting personal. See? I'm not afraid to tell my story. I don't expect you to start crying, but it's an unbelievable story. You come out of that ghetto, and you get in a bus, you go to Clarksville, Tennessee. I was 17 years old. So Russ gets personal a lot. The other thing I love about Russ is he likes to use humor. Humor. That kind of stuff just jumps out at you, and he'll crack you up. He's funny. Now, he is funny. And the other thing about him that I love so much is that he is always prepared. You sit and listen to his sermons, and it may be 25 minutes before you know what he's going to do. And at the last 4 or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever, all of a sudden you go, oh, that's what he was talking about. And he's doing this with the movies. He did it with several other movies we've done before. I love it. I think there's a lot of messages, good messages in movies, even bad movies. And I mean, our movies or whatever now. I don't go for those kind of movies, but this message is in there. This guy that you're talking about today he was a conscientious objector to the war. He didn't want to go to war because of his religion. Because of religion. There are people that are genuinely like that, and I respect those views. And that's what the point today is. No matter who they are, you need to respect their views. Well, the nurses and people like that, they had a lot of issues. And I was always there for them. I was their advocate. I would be there helping them get in classes and stuff like that. And once they taught me to use the computer, that's bad news, because then I could cheat. I'd get on the computer and the class is closed, and I'd go, oh, really? I slip them in there, and then they say, what happened, Mr. Flagg? I don't know, he just got in there. But it was just, I had to find out what they needed and what they wanted. And I don't know what y'all thinking about in terms of the creed, but there's no job, and that includes Russell, and that includes any job I can think of, that is more important, more fulfilling, more rewarding than being a teacher. Just think about that. When you're in the 5th grade, or 6th grade, and you got a really great teacher, that's going to have a huge impact on you. If you've been in classes already when you had a bad teacher, I used to tell my kids, they're going to be teachers. Go out and sell drugs in the parking lot. But don't be a bad what? Teacher. Always have a smile on your face. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost anything to smile. I'm going to smile at school and never live. I really am. I smile at everybody I see. I don't care if I don't know. How you doing? You don't know what that does in terms of some of the students I have in terms of making their day. Making their day. Show some kindness. Show some love. And to me, I'm pretty simplistic about the Bible. Pretty simplistic. And when you get down to it, I always think of Harold Clark, one of my mentors when I first came here. It's all about what? It's about love. Love God and what? We sometimes forget that, don't we? We need to know if we can be there for our neighbors. That's what I was like. I was always looking to do something for somebody else ever since I was a kid. And then I came here, and this is a service-oriented church. We have Habitat for Humanity. We've had people helping people. We've had all these different activities here. That's the other reason I come here. because we believe in helping those who can't help themselves. You know? That's as simple as it gets. You know, this is what Jesus taught us to do. You know, we need to wake up. You know, this is not brain surgery. It is not brain surgery. You know, it's the most simplistic way of looking at it. What are you here for? You are here for somebody else. You're not here for you. You know, I could have made a ton of money selling cars, doing whatever. But I chose to do something that, you know, is service oriented and can make a life. I have a 2,500 people on Facebook. 2,500 people on my Facebook. And a lot of them my students. And I stay in touch with them. And I stay in touch with my friends in Massachusetts because, you know, it just is the way I am. You know, it's the way I am. Facebook, for that reason, is a good thing because you get to see people, you can hear their story. And of course, my story was something else. It wasn't always perfect. And you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. But you're going to what from those mistakes? You just got through telling you. You're going to learn. You know, made a lot of mistakes. It wasn't because I wasn't what? Trying. It wasn't because I wasn't trying. And people that don't try, you know, you're going to fall down, you're going to get back up. You know, you're going to be determined to be whatever you want to be. Have you ever thought at your age, son, what you'd like to do when you get older? What's that? An architect. That's neat. Pardon me? A midwife. That is cool. I've asked a million kids what they wanted to be, and I don't think I've ever had one midwife. That's cool. You look like a midwife. Come think of it, you look like a hippie. No, hippies are midwives. You know that? You know what a hippie is? What's it? Flowers in your hair. No character. That's how they live, their children. And what about you, sweetie? I think she said biomedical engineer. Oh, what about you? You're going to work at Shoney's, right? Really? That's another great thing. When you start to college, y'all have these ideas now. You're going to change. Believe me. And it doesn't really matter where you go to school. You know, when people come in as freshmen, I'm going to major in biomedical engineering. And the next thing you know, you get into science and physics and calculus and stuff like that. Well, I think I'll try something else. But it's hard. You can do it. But it's hard. But most students, you know, will change their majors 2 or 3 different times. It's just the way it is. I'm a geography major, and I had a master's degree in history, too. But I had a great teacher. And that great teacher, you know, lit a fire, was my mentor. He was older than dirt, but I loved him. You know, he was retiring. By the time I was at Austin, he was 70-something years old. But he lit a fire. Because I've always been extremely interested in looking at National Geographics and maps and stuff like that. And he inspired me. And when I went off to Austin P, I really wanted to be in some kind of social work. And I wanted to be in social work because I lived in Cambridge. In Cambridge, you have a much better shot of getting help, you know, than you would living in Wayne County. There was a lot more nonprofits. There was a lot more charities. And, you know, I couldn't help the fact that my father was drunk. You know? So I got a better shot because I had a better diet. But teaching, my friends, has been my whole life. Russ is putting the pressure on right now about teaching. So I'm going to probably end up teaching a class or he'll throw me out of the church. What'd you get kicked out for? Not teaching. You know, you get kicked out. You should never get kicked out of the church in the first place. That's the last place you ought to be kicked out. That's hard to even imagine to me. You know, that's one of the things that, you know, going to Murray Hills and having a small group, we have a great small group, and sometimes it's like a horror story. I'm saying to myself, are you serious? Are you serious? Somebody asked you to leave? You know, what do you think God said? Are you crazy? You know, that's what Jesus would say, wouldn't he? Absolutely. Are you crazy? You go to church to solve your problems, to have somebody help you solve your problems. You know, once you're away from the church, you're not going to have anybody that really cares that much about you, or you wouldn't have those problems in the what? In the first place. In the first place. So I just wanted to tell you, it took a lot of determination. It took a lot of hard work. It was not easy, but it got easier and easier and easier. And so I spent, like I said, my whole life, in education, and I love every minute of it. I've got students that just, I mean, if somebody bothered me, they would like throw them down a well in Hornwall. That's the kind of relationship I had with my students. But I said Hornwall, and the rest may look at that. Anybody have any questions? Be afraid. You got questions? No questions. See, in my classes, the people that did not ask questions, those are the ones I picked on. So you need to go like, not too much. Because some people do it, Miss Flagg, Miss Flagg, Miss Flagg. And the whole class would just groan. I didn't let them do that because I'd give them the look. I'd give them the look. Don't you be laughing at somebody. Take you out and knock you out. I've enjoyed this. I hope y'all have.
Aubrey, I want to let you know that I told you when we first started that I didn't know a lot about you. I know more about you. And what I also know is that if you guys look at me, now look at him. That's what I'm going to be when I'm in my, how old are you now?
72.
I'm 72. This is probably going to be me. You are a lot more.
I hope it is.
We're a lot more alike.
That's why I like him so much.
So,
he's got energy, passion.
Do I have energy?
And that's contagious. It is contagious. I won't, I don't want to be around a bunch of people like him.
Zombies.
Huh?
Zombies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's pray, and I'll get Aubrey out of here so you can go to church real quick. Okay, so. Dear Jesus, I thank you this time that Aubrey can come today. And God, I just thank you for his story. And I thank you for his zeal, his zealousness to tell people about who he is and what he believes in. And the smile that him and his wife have every Sunday morning. I thank God for that every day. Thank you for that you brought Aubrey and his wife into our lives. And just ask that you would help these students here to take a little lesson from that. Hopefully that it sunk that in that all it takes are small things to show people about what we believe in, or give us an opportunity. God, I do thank you for this day. Respect, say thank you, praise in Jesus' name. Thanks so much, Aubrey.
Appreciate it very much.